ഹായ് ഓൾ, ഈ ഒരു വീഡിയോയിൽ ഞാൻ നിങ്ങളുമായിട്ട് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുന്നത് ലീഗൽ ആപ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡിൻ്റെ മോഡൽ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ആണ്. അപ്പം ഇന്നലത്തെ പോലെ തന്നെ നമ്മൾ ഓപ്ഷൻസ് ഇടുന്നതായിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ അതിൽ നിന്ന് നിങ്ങൾ കറക്റ്റായിട്ടുള്ളത് ആൻസർ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കുക. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസിലേക്ക് പോകാം. ആദ്യത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, ആൻ അഫ്രേ മസ്റ്റ് ടുക്ക് പ്ലേസ് ഇൻ എ ഡാഷ് പ്ലേസ് ഓൺലി. ഓപ്ഷൻ എ ഇൻ ഹൗസ്, ഓപ്ഷൻ ബി പബ്ലിക് പ്ലേസ്, ഓപ്ഷൻ സി anywhere, and option D private place. Second question, the types of punishment in IPC. Option A 5 types, option B 1 type, option C 3 types, and option D 10 types of punishment. അടുത്തത്, nothing is an offence which is done. Option A by a minister, option B by a goatman, option C by a teacher, and option D by a judge when acting judicially in the exercise of any power which is of which he in good faith believes to be given to him by law. അടുത്ത question, the offence of giving false evidence is known as dash under the English law. Option A hostile witness, option B no specific term, option C false evidence, option D perjury. അടുത്തത്, which section of IPC deals with rioting? Option A section 144, option B section 145, option C 146, and option D 147. അടുത്തത്, kidnapping from lawful guardianship under section 361 of IPC can be option A of a person of unsound mind, option B of a person under 18 years of age if female, and option C of a person under 16 years of age if male, and option D all of the above. അടുത്തത്, under the Indian Penal Code 1860, theft is an offence against option A ownership, option B possession, option C entrustment, and option D none of the above. അടുത്തത്, intercourse by a man with his wife during the separation is an offence under section dash of Indian Penal Code. Option A section 376 B, option B 376 A, option C 376 D, and option D 377. അടുത്തത്, assault or criminal force used in attempting to commit theft of property is coming under section dash of IPC. Option A 356, option B 378, option C 379, and option D 384. അടുത്തത്, when two or more persons agree to do or cause to be done illegal act or a legal act by illegal means, such an arrangement is designated as option A consent, option B none of these, option C agreement, and option D a criminal conspiracy. അടുത്തത്, act of child under 7 years, option A an offence, option B no offence. Then അടുത്ത question, there are some important exceptions in IPC. One of them, option A act of women, option B act done under compulsion or threat, option C act of minister, and option D act of teacher. അടുത്തത്, who can apply Indian Penal Code? Option A Indian citizens only, option B everybody within Indian boundary. അടുത്തത്, the motive under section 81 of IPC should be option A prevention of harm to person, option B prevention of harm to property, option C both A and B, and option D either A or B. Infancy as an exception has been provided under option A section 80, option B section 81, option C section 82, and option D section 84. A person is stated to be partially incapable under section 83 IPC if he is aged option A above 7 years and under 12 years, option B above 7 years and under 10 years, option C above 7 years and under 16 years, and option D above 7 years and under 18 years. Section of IPC deals with disobedience to quarantine rule. Option A 271, option B 270, option C 281 and option D 276. അടുത്തത് the slogan of Vande Mataram was first adopted during the movement. Option A non-cooperation movement, option C civil disobedience movement, option C Swadeshi movement and option D Quit India movement. അടുത്തത് the supreme commander of the armed forces in India. Option A president, option B prime minister, option C defense minister, option D none of the above. അടുത്തത് which of the following sections of IPC deals with criminal breach of trust? Option A section 405 of IPC, option B 407 of IPC, option C 406 of IPC and option D 408 of IPC. അടുത്തത് the maxim actus non facitria nisi mensitria is based on. Option A there can be no crime without a guilty mind. Option B criminal mind leads to crime. Option C crime has to be coupled with guilty mind. And option D crime is the result of guilty mind. അടുത്തത് general exceptions are contained in. Option A chapter 4 of IPC, option B chapter 5 of IPC, option C chapter 6 of IPC and option D chapter 3 of IPC. അടുത്തത് accident as an exception has been dealt with. Option A section 82 of IPC, option B section 80, option C section 78 and option D section 77 of IPC. അടുത്തത് section 76 and section 79 of IPC provide the general exception for. Option A mistake of fact, option B mistake of law, option C either mistake of law or fact, option D both mistake of law and fact. അടുത്തത് mischief is dealt under. Option A section 426 of IPC, option B 428 of IPC, option C 429 of IPC and option D 425 of IPC. Forgery is dealt under. Option A section 463 of IPC, option B section 464 of IPC, option C section 466 of IPC and option D section 465 of IPC. അടുത്തത് wrongful restraint is dealt under. Option A section 338 of IPC, option B section 339, option C section 342 and option D section 337. അടുത്ത question, when did the Indian Penal Code 1860 came into force? Option A 1st April 1860, option B 1st March 1862, option C 1st May 1860 and option D 1st January 1862. Which section of Indian Penal Code 1860 deals with the right of private defense of body and of property? Option A section 92, option B section 97, option C section 94 and option D section 90. അടുത്ത 30ാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം, section 25 of IPC deals with. Option A court of justice, option B fraudulently, option C valuable security and option D reason to believe. Section 46 of IPC provides the meaning of option A death, option B injury, option C fear ആണ് കേട്ടോ, option D animal. Then അടുത്ത question, which section of IPC deals with the attempt to commit robbery or dacoity when armed with a deadly weapon? Option A section 399 of IPC, option B section 394, option C section 398 and option D section 396 of IPC. അടുത്ത 33ാമത്തെ ചോദ്യമാണ്, section 384 of Indian Penal Code deals with. Option A, punishment for extortion. Option B, punishment for theft. Option C, extortion by putting a person in fear of death or grievous hurt. And option D, extortion. 34th question. Which section of IPC deals with putting a person in fear of death or of grievous hurt in order to commit extortion? Option A, Section 377 of IPC. Option B, Section 387 of IPC. Option C, Section 384 and option D, Section 385 of IPC. അടുത്തത് സെക്ഷൻ 442 ഓഫ് ഇന്ത്യൻ പീനൽ കോഡ് ഡീൽസ് വിത്ത് ഓപ്ഷൻ എ ലർക്കിംഗ് ഹൗസ് ട്രെസ്പാസ് ബൈ നൈറ്റ്, ഓപ്ഷൻ ബി പണിഷ്മെൻറ്റ് ഫോർ ക്രിമിനൽ ട്രെസ്പാസ്, ഓപ്ഷൻ സി ഹൗസ് ട്രെസ്പാസ് ആൻഡ് ഓപ്ഷൻ ഡി ഹൗസ് ബ്രേക്കിംഗ്. അടുത്തത് ചാപ്റ്റർ 2 ഓഫ് ഇന്ത്യൻ പീനൽ കോഡ് ഈസ് അബൌട്ട് ഓപ്ഷൻ എ ഓഫ് പണിഷ്മെൻറ്റ്, ഓപ്ഷൻ ബി ഓഫ് offences by or relating to public servant, option C general explanations and option D introduction. അടുത്തത് number of chapters in the Indian Penal Code 1860. Option A 20, option B 21, option C 22 and option D 23. അടുത്ത question, public servant has been defined under which section of Indian Penal Code? Option A Section 11, option B Section 45, option C Section 7 and option D Section 21. അടുത്തത് threatening to commit certain acts forbidden by IPC is associated with which one of the following? Option A misrepresentation, option B fraud, option C coercion and option D mistake. അടുത്തത് the term offence means. Option A thing made punishable by Indian Penal Code, option B a thing made punishable by the Penal Code or any special or local law in certain case, option C both A and B and option D none of the above. 41st question, A obtains property from B by saying that your child is in hands of my gang and will be put to death unless you send us 10 lakh rupees. A commits dash. Option A criminal breach of trust, option B robbery, option C extortion and option D theft. അടുത്തത് in which case Supreme Court held that preamble is integral part of the Constitution. Option A S.R. Bommai case, option B Keshavananda Bharati case, option C Ashok Kumar Thakur case and option D M.C. Mehta case. East India Company was deprived of monopoly of trade with India except tea trade by which among the following acts? Option A Charter Act of 1813, option B Charter Act of 1833, option C Charter Act of 1853 and option D Government of India Act 1858. അടുത്തത് Government of a state is appointed by President on the advice of option A Prime Minister, option B Vice President, option C Chief Minister and option D Chief Justice. അടുത്തത് the President gives his resignation to option A Chief Justice, option B Parliament, option C Vice President and option D Prime Minister. അടുത്തത് for what period does the Vice President of India holds the office? Option A 5 years, option B till the age of 65 years, option C 6 years and option D 2 years. അടുത്തത് who among the following holds the office during the pleasure of President? Option A Governor, option B Election Commissioner, option C Speaker of Lok Sabha and option D Prime Minister. അടുത്തത് which of the following is not true regarding the payment of emoluments of the President? Option A they can be reduced during a financial emergency, option B they are shown separately in the budget, option C they are charged on the Contigency Fund of India and option D they do not require any parliament sanction. അടുത്തത് the total number of members nominated by the President to the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Option A 16, option B 18, option C 14 and option D 12. അടുത്തത് which one of the following does not constitute the Electoral College for electing the President of India? Option A elected members of Lok Sabha, option B elected members of Legislative Assembly of each state, Option C, elected members of Legislative Council. Option D, elected members of Rajya Sabha. അടുത്ത question, which of the following appointments is not made by the President of India? Option A, Chief of the Army. Option B, Speaker of Lok Sabha. Option C, Chief Justice of India. And option D, Chief of Air Force. Who appoints the Prime Minister of India? Option A, Lok Sabha. Option B, President. Option C, Parliament. And option D, Citizen of India. The first women governor of a state in free India was option A, Indira Gandhi. Option B, Vijayalakshmi Pandit. Option C, Sarojini Naidu. And option D, Sujata Kribalani. The minimum age required to contest for presidentship is option A, 23 years. Option B, 21 years. Option C, 35 years. And option D, 30 years. അടുത്തത്, the charge of impeachment against the President of India for his removal can be preferred by option A, both houses of parliament. Option B, Speaker of Lok Sabha and Chairman of Rajya Sabha. Option C, Rajya Sabha. And option D, Lok Sabha. Who was the first Prime Minister of India? Option A, Jawaharlal Nehru. Option B, Indira Gandhi. Option C, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Option D, Mahatma Gandhi. വളരെ സിമ്പിളായിട്ടുള്ളൊരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആണ്. In case of president dies while in office, the vice president can act as president for a maximum period of option A, 1 year. Option B, 3 months. Option C, 6 months. And option D, 2 years. Who administers the oath of office to the President of India before he enters upon the office? Option A, Chief Justice. Option B, Speaker of Lok Sabha. Option C, Vice President. And option D, Prime Minister. The President nominates 12 members to the Rajya Sabha according to option A, their performance as office bearers of cultural society, the recommendations made by the Vice President, option C, their role played in political setup of the country, and option D, their distinction in the field of science, art, literature and social service. അടുത്തത്, who can initiate impeachment proceedings against the President of India? Option A, either houses of parliament. Option B, any Vidhan Sabha. Option C, only Lok Sabha. Option D, Rajya Sabha. What is the minimum age for appointment as a governor? Option A, 35 years. Option B, 40 years. Option C, 25 years. And option D, 30 years. The President may, for violation of the Constitution, be removed from the office by option A, Prime Minister. Option B, the Electoral College consisting of members of Parliament and State Legislature. Option C, impeachment. And option A, no confidence vote. In which year were the first general election in India held? Option A, 1950 to 51. Option B, 1948 to 49. Option C, 1951 to 52. And option D, 1947 to 48. Which of the following is not related to tort law? Option A, uncodified. Option B, unliquidated damages. Option C, Pigeon Hole theory. And option D, criminal law. The Pigeon Hole theory for the law of tort was given by option A, Salmond. Option B, Winfield. Option C, Lord Macaulay. And option D, none of the above. അടുത്തത്, which of the following is not a tort? Option A, defamation. Option B, negligence. Option C, culpable homicide. Option D, nuisance. Punitive punishments are not given in the cases of tort. This statement is option A, true. Option B, false. Option C, depends on the case. And option D, none of these. അടുത്തത്, the punishments awarded in the case of tort are option A, unliquidated. Option B, imprisonment. Option C, fines. Option D, both A and C. അടുത്തത്, which of the following legal maxim is not related to the law of tort? Option A, ubi jus ibi remedium. Option B, extirpi causa non oritur action. Option C, res ipsa loquitur. Option D, consensus ad idem. അടുത്തത്, which of the following interests are not protected by the law of tort? Option A, physical injury. Option B, reputation. Option C, injury to property, and option D, loss in business due to the breach of contract. അടുത്തത്, some acts are regarded both as a crime as well as tort. Which of the following is not one such example? Option A, defamation. Option B, negligence. Option C, culpable homicide. Option D, all of these. അടുത്തത്, in the case of trespass to the person, which of the following defenses will not apply? Option A, private defense. Option B, lawful authority. Option C, contributory negligence. And option D, none of the above. The purpose behind the punishments given under the law of tort is not. Option A, giving compensation to the victim. Option B, deterrence. Option C, corrective justice. And option D, weakening the accused. Which tort covers any intentional harm caused to the body? Option A, battery. Option B, none of these. Option C, trespass. Option D, conversion. അടുത്തത്, law of tort is dash law. Option A, civil. Option B, both. Option C, criminal. And option D, none of these. The word tort originates from the Latin word. Option A, tortem. Option B, try. Option C, torture. And option D, tort. അടുത്തത്, what do tort cases result in? Option A, both compensation and punishment. Option B, compensation. Option C, punishment. And option D, none. അടുത്തത്, which part covers damage to one's reputation? Option A, assault. Option B, conversion. Option C, defamation. Option D, battery. 79. What is ratio decidendi? Option A, reason for deciding the outcome of a case. Option B, a certain legal practice is observed and the relevant actors consider it law. Option C, by the law statement, the judge writes to help explain a decision not legally binding. Option D, law that has been developed on the basis of presiding rulings by judges. Then 80th question. Which article of the Constitution abolishes untouchability? Option A, 14. Option B, 15. Option C, 16. And option D, 17. അപ്പോൾ ഇത്തരം ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസാണ് നമ്മൾ വീഡിയോയിൽ ഉൾപ്പെടുത്തിയിട്ടുള്ളത്. അപ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ ആൻസേഴ്സ് നിങ്ങൾ തന്നെ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാനായിട്ട് ശ്രമിക്കുക. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഡൗട്ട്സ് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ കമൻറ്റ് ബോക്സിൽ ചോദിക്കുക. താങ്ക് യു.